When you're a senior, or at any age, a life-changing health condition can endanger not only your quality of life, but your financial security. It's been proven that these additional stresses can slow your recovery and even cause more health problems. One solution may be where you may not realize: your life insurance. In Orlando, Florida, we spoke to the team at Abacus Life Settlements, who explains their role to help people in need.
A life settlement is a simple transaction between an owner of an insurance policy and an investor. And the idea is to purchase this policy for more than what the current cash value is in that policy.
A good fit for a life settlement would be someone who is coping with some type of critical or life-threatening illness that has expenses that they were not prepared for. Their life insurance policy has value, and instead of making the tough decision of surrendering it for whatever value remained in the policy or canceling the policy and getting nothing for it, there's actually a secondary market where they can sell the policy and recapture a lot of the premiums they've spent over the years, but more importantly, have the available resources and funds to use for other medical or long-term care needs.
In order to qualify for a life settlement, generally you would have significant impairment or you'd be a certain age. What we like to do is get a better understanding of that individual's circumstances. So one of the things that we do is that we actually conduct a confidential personal health questionnaire to determine whether that individual may or may not qualify. The personal health questionnaire consists of two components. There's a medical component and a non-medical component. In the medical component, it's things you might imagine, such as what type of doctors do you see, what are your personal health history, what's your family health history, perhaps what kinds of medications that you're taking. But then there's another piece, what we call the non-medical part of the questionnaire. And that's really, really important to completing your story, because it's those types of questions that include: what are your hobbies? What types of communities are you involved in? What's your purpose in life? What are the things that keep you busy every day? Do you like to garden? Are you an avid reader? Are you a golfer? Because we feel that those lifestyle choices actually have a larger impact on your longevity and quality of life than, in fact, the medical treatment you may be receiving.
Any kind of coverage will qualify, even term life insurance. The amount of coverage they have, the cost to maintain that coverage, and the results of the personal health questionnaire will determine how much a client will receive. The entire process takes about 30 to 45 days. However, we're able to create an offer in about 2 hours once we receive the insurance information and the results of the personal health questionnaire. And it's important to mention that there's never a cost associated with selling your policy, and you never have to accept the offer.
Most people are unaware this option exists to help with expenses.
When you take out insurance, there's one way of thinking. And the thinking is, hey, I'm taking out this for my beneficiaries. When I die, they're taken care of. This is almost a complete paradigm shift on why they took out the insurance. Now they can utilize it while they're still living when they really need it. What we're trying to do is get out there and tell people this is an available option for your policy. Reach out to your financial planner, reach out to your attorney and ask them, hey, are you heard of this before? To do more research, get on the internet and look at this option for you instead of sitting there and not having all this financial stress and not knowing what to do, because that's the worst thing that you can do, and not knowing that you have this hidden asset sitting there.
Scott Kirby shares a story with us.
A recent client of ours, her name was Linda, and she was very open about the type of illness she had. And it was one that she didn't expect and didn't exactly prepare for. But because of the type of illness, the advancement of the illness, and her policy, we were able to actually sell her policy for her, which wasn't the most important part of the relationship. It was the fact that she made it so clear on what she wanted to use the money for. And the reasons are all very similar. It's to pay off a bill. It's to prepay my son's college. It's to take a vacation. So Linda was a very favorite client of ours, but her story is very similar to many of our clients.
Financial stress can have adverse effects on your health. Jay Jackson from Abacus talks about how their plans can give their clients options for the future.
So all of a sudden you've been diagnosed with a life-changing or life-limiting illness, such as cancer, Alzheimer's, maybe Lou Gehrig's disease. As unfortunate and dramatic as that can be on your life and the amount of impact that can have, what we offer is one of the solutions that can help relieve some of that stress and that undue financial burden that you may face during that really troubling time. One of our clients is a 48-year-old male who is diagnosed with stage 4 colon and liver cancer. He's a proud American who served his country well and came back, and this is what he faced. He was able to utilize this transaction, and we were able to give him such a significant amount that he was able to fund his children's college, pay off his home, and actually take a step forward in looking at some advanced and trialed medications that he would not have considered before.
Seniors now have the ability to access money for needs now.
When you get to be 80 years old, you may not need that insurance like you did when you were 60. And you can actually access money through that life insurance policy. The only option you had before was an insurance carrier giving you the cash value of the policy. We don't do that. We give the true market value that's based on your health, your lifestyle, and the size of the policy that we are purchasing. So this gives people another option as they get older. The only option before is they would surrender the policy. You don't have to do that today.
We've done thousands of personal health questionnaires over the years, and there's a common thread, a common impairment that everybody seems to have, and that's stress. And that stress can be caused by financial uncertainty or anxiety caused by financial needs. And what we find is that stress component can actually have a larger impact on your quality of life and your life expectancy than the medical impairment that you're actually being treated for. There's really three main components that medically can increase your longevity. The first is genetics. Now, you can't do much about that right now, but science is catching up, and science is making leaps and bounds and advances on their genome studies. However, two, you can have an immediate impact today on. One is reducing your stress levels, and the second would be improving your lifestyle choices, both of which this transaction help with. In fact, what we see are individuals who take advantage of this transaction. We actually see an extension in longevity, and we've had to alter our own underwriting to make an adjustment for those individuals who complete their transaction, and now we make the assumption that they're actually going to live longer.